Okay, now we played a couple of major scales there. We've got the D major scale, we've got the A major scale, both on single strings, as we called it before, the unitar. We've got 6 strings going across. Each one of them is an instrument in its own right. And we played the 2 major scales, D major, A major, single strings and octaves. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you another couple of chords, okay? And now, as I said before, with this tuning, with DADGAD tuning, you already know half of the notes that are there. If all you've known is standard tuning, what we can use is these 3 strings. Standard tunings. These 3 strings, the 5th, 4th and 3rd, the 3 of them are the same, or tuned the same way as they would be in standard tuning. So, if you know this E major shape here, just playing those 3 strings that we're fretting, there's E major. It's still E major here. In DADGAD tuning, if we don't play the bottom, the 1st, and the 2nd string. Okay? So here's a golden coin, right? If you've ever played Mario Brothers video games, which I haven't, but I watch my kids do it. Okay. What we have, the note that we have here on the 4th string, E, is also E, 2nd fret on the bottom string, and also the 2nd fret on the top string. We learned that in our scales. If you don't remember it, just run back to that video. Take your time with this. It's going to take time. I'm doing this very slowly so that we can all work on this. A lot of the times I need to go back to the basics so I can remember what actually works as well. So it doesn't end. It's a continuous journey with this. Okay, so we've got what we're holding here, 2nd fret on the 5th string, 2nd fret on the 4th string, 1st fret on the 3rd string. That's an important thing to remember there, what happens on the 3rd string. Okay? So here's this chord. Now, if we were to play it fully, like as it would sound in standard tuning, we can put a little mini bar across the first 2 strings at the 2nd fret to match the octave. B note there in your E chord. 2nd fret on the 4th string and 1st string also for your E note. And then you got that note in there, G sharp. We're going to play that mini bar there across the first 2 strings. This one's tough. And then we've got the root note, 2nd fret on the bottom string. Now that's how that chord would sound in standard tuning. Now what I find with DADGAD tuning is that there's a whole bunch of other reasons that you might use a tuning like DADGAD. The other strings, the open strings resonating with each other. It gives a different kind of bell tone and a different sustain to the chords that you're playing. If you're going to be using chords like E major, a lot of the times you might be better off just putting a capo at the 2nd fret. Okay? Yeah. A lot of people have got problems using capos. They call them cheaters. But I've seen some of my favorite guitarists such as Tony Rice and Richard Thompson using capos, and I don't think anybody could accuse them of cheating. They're some of the finest musicians alive. Oh, excuse me, sorry Tony. Tony passed away there Christmas Day a couple of years ago, and 2 of the finest musicians to ever grace our planet. And they know the tone, the sound that they want to get from their instrument. And if that involves using a capo, well, that's what it involves. Okay? E major. D major. We've got the notes D. Skip the E note, the 2nd note. Remember that? Go to the 3rd note in the scale, F sharp. D, E, F sharp. Okay, so we got D, A, F sharp, A, and D. Here's a D major chord for you. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a G major chord. This is a shape that I use quite often. It's kind of, if we come back to what I was showing, sorry, we're going to use this mini bar here at the 5th fret across the 2 strings here. Okay, and then we use 4th fret on the 3rd string, 5th fret across the 4th, 5th, and 6th strings. Now we got this. That's a voicing from standard tuning. Here's how I developed this idea, or what worked in my brain for this to come through. Where I was used to playing a G chord here in standard tuning with a bar across the 3rd fret, and what we're using is an E major chord shape, okay, with a bar at the 3rd fret. It doesn't sound the same in DADGAD tuning. This is awful. Well, it might be used for something. We'll find something for it yet, I'm sure. But because the bottom string and the top 2 strings are tuned down a whole tone, we need to bring them up 2 frets. Each fret gives you a difference of a semitone. Okay? So there's our G major chord. Oftentimes, especially if I'm playing traditional Irish music, I'll let the top 2 strings ring as like a drone. So in which case what I'd be playing would be like a G with an added 9th. That would be the technical name for the chord. Okay? Now if we come back down here to this E major chord, right? Now if we take off our index finger off the 3rd string, that'll give us an E minor. So in the same way, if we're up here at the 5th fret, it's almost like we're putting the bar in front of the chord. Okay, like there it is in standard tuning. And here we are putting these strings, these fingers, ahead of our 3rd note in the chord. Okay, so here's G major. And if we move your index finger back a fret, we've got G minor. Okay, E major, E minor. A major, 7th fret. Middle finger, 7th fret on the bottom string, and 7th fret on the 4th string, 2nd string, and 1st string. There's A major. Okay, move that index finger back. A minor. Here's your major shape. Just put it a little closer there so you can see. And here's your minor shape. 1 fret behind on the 3rd string. There's a difference between major and minor. If we bring, let's say, our bar in front of the chord all the way up to the 12th fret, it'll give us a D major chord. What's nice to do there is just hold this shape and let those top 2 strings ring. That's what I find is a big characteristic of the DADGAD tuning, is that you got these top 2 strings ringing like a drone, okay? Now if you bring that back a fret, your index finger back a fret, there's D minor. Major, minor. Okay, try and work with that. Any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm trying to keep this as simple and as basic as possible. If I'm racing ahead too much too quickly, please feel free to let me know, or give me any other ideas that you might need a bit of guidance on. If I'm able to show you, I'd be glad to. Okay, keep on picking.